I've been training for this episode for years. It's tomato, my favorite fruit. Let's see what comes of it. Let's go.
Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank. Welcome to Struggle Meals.
I think one of the best ways to use up a beefsteak tomato is in a tomato bread soup. We're gonna take some stale bread and mix it with tomatoes, but it's not gonna be soup unless we have a broth. So how do we get a fast aromatic broth in a pinch? Let me show you. Bay leaf and a single clove of smashed garlic, water. Now we'll make the base of our soup. Onion. Get a little garlic.
Get into it, brah!
Quanto basta? A little bit of pepe nero, sale marino. Let's get some fennel in there. This gives you a really nice licorice, like anise flavor when it's raw, but when you cook it down, it becomes super duper sweet. Some free flavor from the package drawer. Wah, 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 wah. Sometimes I have to get myself a little excited, you know what I mean? It's always great to add the hot pepper in the oil stage because it's going to extract more of the spiciness out of it than if you add it at the end. And if you want to maximize flavor, that's the way you do it. Okay, here we're using some beefsteak tomatoes, and they are not super duper flavorful, which is why it's really great to make a soup like this because it's adding so many other ingredients to it. This is all gonna cook down. It's gonna become stewy. It's gonna become like porridge. This water's been through an aromatherapy session. You could leave this in if you want. I'm gonna. Let's bring up the liquidity of our bread soup. Bread. This is what's gonna give us the heartiness in the dish. And if you're really doing it right, you're using leftover stale bread or like toast from this morning, something that's too hard to eat, but will be re-moisturized in the soup and have a second life. That's the right way to do it. It's almost like a free ingredient. I love making up a batch of this because I hate it when I buy bread or make bread and I just can't eat it in the time that it starts to go stale. It might not look like the most appetizing thing right now. And the consistency that we're looking for, it's like baby food. Funny enough, the Italians call this dish papa al pomodoro, which means the tomato baby food. Just bring it down to a simmer. We'll let our semi-stale bread get fully hydrated by that quick aromatic broth we made and our tomatoes. I love this soup so much. I have it in the winter. I have it in the summer. You do you. Finish us off with some fresh basil right into the pot. Stir it in. Smells fantastic. Plate it up. Papa al pomodoro. Here we go. Tomato bread soup. Have a little bit of fennel from before. You remember this? So pretty. And if you want, I'm just feeling it today, a drizzle of olive oil right on top. We're at $1.70 here, people. That's a good value. So check out the consistency. Very, very thick, thanks to the semi-stale bread. So sweet and delicious. I mean, texturally, it's thick and kind of gloopy, but like in a good way. Guys, I'm absolutely in love with this tomato bread soup. It takes the beefsteak tomato, which I'm not really in love with, and elevates it like out of the atmosphere. It's wonderful. It's a whole picture thing between the stale bread and the fennel and the sweet onion and the beefsteak. Together, they form the power quartet of love that I'm eating for $1.70. Here we are at the Struggle Meals What's in My Fridge challenge, where viewers like you on the internet group challenge me to make stuff based on what's in your fridge. So let's check out today's challenge. I have an entire drawer full of tomatoes. I need some ideas of what to do with them. First of all, there's a lot of things we can do. Second of all, take them out of the fridge. It messes with the sugar level of the tomato. Store them on the counter or in a little box like this. Let me see what else we have in the Struggle fridge that we can work with. All right, we've got celery. Here we've got, it looks like half of a jalapeno, garlic, some black beans, catsup, chocolate sauce. Yep. Iceberg lettuce, 2 chicken breasts, some rice, tortillas, white onion. This thing's got a freezer. Strawberries, spinach. Do I have to use everything? So the chocolate's out, the ketchup's out, and the strawberries are out. All right, so I'm thinking about what I can do with these tomatoes. They look pretty fresh, so I'm thinking we make a raw red salsa. Can use a bunch of it now. I can freeze the rest of it. I can cook it down and turn it into a cooked salsa. That will take care of the entire box of tomatoes. Now for the supporting roll here, I'm seeing a burrito. First thing I'm gonna do is cut up these tomatoes. Let's get some white onion. How about some garlic? Okay, so that's that. Let's taste it. It's really good. Let's get some cilantro. I'm gonna keep it pretty rustic. I'm just gonna run my knife through it once. All right. We'll definitely get this celery in there. All right, some regular oil. Here comes that celery. You know what? I'll put the leaves in too. What the heck? And I've got this spinach here. So I'm gonna do cubes, straight down. Here we go, chicken in. I mean, I'm having a great time already. You know, this isn't about me accepting a challenge. The idea is to not really be afraid and just like go for something. So I'm making 2 burritos now. Here's how I like to toast them. Right on the fire. Hoo-ah! Give it a little flip. A little fire love goes a long way. That's hot. I forgot that I cooked it. Boom, boom. I thought about cooking it all at the same time, but then the beans would probably disintegrate, and I really like the texture. A little rice love on the side. One trick that I really like is that when you have really dry ingredients in a pan, rather than adding oil all the time, just add a little bit of water. It moisturizes and evaporates away, okay? Come in with some beans, some rice, get that lettuce. Nice and thin. There's no way I'm gonna be able to wrap this burrito. Man, I'm gonna be putting this on everything for like the next week. Now the hardest part of the challenge, folding this up. I'm gonna come around this way. That's pretty good. Maybe not. I need tin foil. Okay, let's try this again. Up on the top, coming over. Come on. I've totally overstuffed my burrito. This is either gonna be beautiful or not. Here we go. Ta-da! Here it is, the Struggle Burrito, using a whole bunch of tomatoes for a fresh salsa rojo. There's nothing traditional about this. I mean, I used frozen spinach. Use your intuition. Just use up all the food. Think big. Think vehicle for your leftovers. That's better than letting the tomatoes rot away and paying for a meal, I'll tell you that much. So you guys challenged me to make something with what was in your fridge. I came up with the Struggle Burrito. If I had to rate myself, I give myself a 7 out of 10. I'm not very good at folding this. The spinach is a little weird texturally, but overall, it's pretty solid. Why don't you tell me what you think? This one's for you.